Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Topham Hatt the third at your service. We're going to be talking about Facebook reviews because we're going to talk about this seriously. You talked about TripAdvisor, which is what I stated in the previous podcast. There was 24 reviews for the North Norfolk Railway itself, right? I checked Facebook this year, and we only got four on Facebook. So that's about eight, right? That's 28, right? That's not high enough for this year. You need to really understand where they're rigging the system, right? A lot of you know people will be honest, some people won't be, right? We're also going to discuss about Graham's position as general manager. He won't be on that premises for long, alright? I guarantee it because thank you for my resources, like the Steam team, as after all, you got Edward, Henry, Gordon, and James, Percy, Toby, and Duck, Donald and Douglas, Oliver, Emily, they all told me he won't be there for much longer. Alright? Graham will not have that position that long. Why? Because he'd be booted out. Why? I don't like backstabbers, alright? I don't like cheaters. I don't like liars or deceiters. Why? It's all true. Excuse my French, my banner's not up and running, but there you go. It's all true, no lies, no deceits. Alright? I want you to get real. Right? 28 reviews this year. Right, in total, right? On Facebook, it's 4. TripAdvisor got 24. Work it out. You know, use your common sense up here. Then you're going to check Google reviews yourself. Do it yourself routine and work it out. Why are these reviews inaccurate? Right? Every rigging system I catch out, I ended up getting angry. Right? Not for angry with the people, I'm angry with the North Norfolk Railway for blaming lying. Right? I hate liars. I really hate bullshitters. I hate deceiters. Right? I'm being honest with you. Facebook reviews do not help the other way. Right? TripAdvisor is lying to you. Right? Facebook is lying to you. Right? Graham, the new general manager, won't be there for much longer. Why? Because my Steam team has been investigating. Right? They know certain things you don't. I do as well because I get picked up on it. Right? I don't need to ask too much to get my answers. Right? I don't bullshit with you. I don't lie at you. I don't be deceitful with you. I'm completely bloody damn honest. And you lot are all like, God, what the you probably say the WTF, right? And then you're wondering why, right? This is the book that's been saving my butt, right? A lot of you don't know what it is until you bloody damn see it, right? A lot of you don't know why I know everybody from everybody, right? The people that are running the railway right now are probably going to lose their jobs. Why? Wrong people, right? You're gonna get real and you're gonna start realizing why is the Facebook being rigged? Why is Google being rigged? Why is TripAdvisor being rigged? Why? Because every year we have this problem, right? I'm not being dismeaner. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm being honest, right? I don't like you to be on the deceiving end of the book. Right, when you check the reviews, people always check year at a time. Why? I had it from a lot of private connections who I cannot name, right? They're not always, my private connections always tell the truth. They say they look at the recent. They don't look at past tense. Right? You guys are looking at past tense to get your result. I said, BS that and get it sorted now, or I'm after you all. You know, I'm not saying the community, but I'm saying TripAdvisor, Facebook, and Google will be targeted. Why? lying through the teeth. Right? They should realise from right from wrong what's a good in- indicator of actually running a good business. Right? North Norfolk Railway cannot be a business. It has to be a heritage railway to keep running. If you keep running it as a business, people won't be interested. Right? People will lose interest so damn bloody quick, they'll be leaving the bloody door. Right? You've got to get your head out of that one anyway. But you've got to see the logic. You see, you can't have it both ways. As I keep stating, things will overturn. The North Norfolk Railway will lose. Why? Because they try to turn it into a business when it can't work as a business. Right? When I'm not joking about this, I mean I'm dead serious, right? I want you to picture yourself not as just a customer. Right? When you go on that premises, you've got eyes and ears everywhere to realise the truth. Right? You got to start using them to get round things. Alright? You don't have to ask the questions. The answers are already stuck and glued black and white, right? You know, Facebook reviews don't always add up the means, right? When people do check reviews, they always look at the year by year. But when they do it by, what I mean year by year, I stated in the last podcast, they read the TripAdvisor, they read Facebook, they read Google. How many times are they going to start realising that the points don't add up no more? Why? Past tense doesn't work with it. Right? Right? A lot of you know there's a lot of bad problems building up. Bad apples everywhere. Wherever you go, there's good apples, bad apples, wherever. You're gonna end up realising there's gonna be one bad egg that affects all, right? And I had this problem in college, right? As example, at Vickerstown College. I said, you're gonna end up realising it's true, it's logic, it's fact, it's everything. What you gonna gain? Right, you're not going to succeed over time. When people realise that rigging is not acceptable, when you rig a table or a pool table or rig the points for your own team or your captain's team or anything, right, then you become the cheater or a liar or a deceiver. Right, you're going to end up feeling guilty. Right, you've got to start to be honest with yourself. What you see is what you're getting, yes. But then you're going to end up working out and say, look, what? This new general manager on the platform who's not allowed on there? Correct. Why? Because he's not on the employees list. Why? Let me explain this. Right, there are certain numbers in place during the whole year or every century. There's a certain amount of numbers in play, right? History has a habit of repeating itself regardless of left, right, and centre. You have to start waking up the smell of that coffee because in the day, you know what? The future isn't so bright at the moment, right? I'm telling you there's hope, but there's no brightness. Why? Well, the North Norfolk Railway screwed up, number one. They rigged the bloody tables, or I would say rigged the whole bloody internet. Rig and delete and remove, right? You're going to end up saying you like the North Norfolk Railway, don't like it. Don't review it. Just delete it and block it and remove it. Why? Because they're trying to turn something into something they cannot. Why? Because there's so much positive in me and negative up there. Why do you think I'm safeguarded? Right, Duck can see this from a mile away. Right? Once I give him a little tip, he always gives me a tip back. Why? Duck knows everything, doesn't he? Quack, quack. Why? He knew about this new general manager. He said he won't be there for much longer. Just hold your horses. That's what he tells me, right? I believe that, right? You are going to start waking up, right? There's the truth within the Facebook review. There's only 4 reviews this year for North Norfolk Railway alone. That's the truth. And 24 on TripAdvisor. Work that out. 28 doesn't add up. It adds up correctly, boom, boom, but it's all accurate, it's all truth, and it's all facts. You guys have to start working around your heads. Calculate everything every year, properly. Because in the day if you use past tense stuff, you're going to lose. Because you're not gaining the real facts in front of you to realise what's from wrong. Get it in your head. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be bloody standing here right now. Right? You've got things unfolding straight away. You've got things that don't always add up to means to justify the means. But the thing is, the fact is, you can't rig Facebook, Twitter, I wouldn't say Facebook, TripAdvisor, and Google. Why? Why do I tell you to come to my channel all the time? Because I'm honest. I'd rather be trustworthy with you and be straightforward. Right? There are times where you're going to get that bloody dishonesty up there and you're going to end up really feeling guilty at the end of the tunnel. Why? Because you believed everything that was unfolded correctly. Right? I tell you the correct way, they tell you the wrong way. Right? When Duck used to come on the island one time, and I'm going to make this quite clear, when Duck came first to the island, right, the three big engines, Gordon, Henry, and James, all they stated, right, said to, when Duck showed up, I'm the Great Western Way, and their big engines always say, don't we all know it? And bang! Why? Because they don't intervene. But when Davis Diesel was around, right, try and set me up, but didn't get to Duck because Duck was under my radar. Ding ding, safeguard. Why? Duck knows a lot, as much as I do. We got piss about. Right? When you look at the Facebook reviews for the North Norfolk Railway, you're only going to get 4. Why? 4 equals backs to me. Work it out. Why is my family always coming back to me? They said I'm the miracle person they ever had in the planet, right? They know I'm the only key around you to get round you all, right? Facebook reviews are not accurate, right? You're going back for 2023, you're going back to 2022, 2021, all backwards. You're not understanding the principles of telling the truth, and that's what the North Norfolk Railway is not able to do. Why? Because they're treating themselves as a business, not a heritage railway. Watch out. It's going to throw in your face saying, what? Yeah, Graham doesn't know what he's doing. He's going to probably have a week or 2 weeks till he be out of the building. Why? Because he can't hack it. If he works it all out and tries to say, oh yeah, I can get round him and blah blah blah, I said no he can't. Because it's all truth. Why? There's a truth in it, reason why. He's not part of my employees list, not my employers list. Why? Because he's not a friend of the family. Right? Because I know people from knowing people through their personalities. Right? The Facebook reviews will be honest with you on the year. Like 2024, for example. You will narrow it down to 4 reviews instead of all the backlog. Like I said, all past tense reviews don't add up. Why? You don't add it with it. You use the year. Why? Why doesn't Facebook, Twitter, and Google do it by year, and then just leave the other years behind schedule? Why did I say leave the others alone? I keep telling people why. Facebook reviews will actually destroy the whole Facebook altogether. Why? The reviews don't always justify the means. It's the same with the TripAdvisor. It's the same with Google. Why? Past tense. Why? When that past tense hits, why? It doesn't matter if it's just Facebook. Why? It's Google. It's TripAdvisor. Why? Because it all adds up. right? People are gonna start waking up and smelling that coffee, right? You're gonna end up regretting it, right? You're gonna end up saying, why? Why? Ask yourself a very hard question you can't answer, right? You're asking yourself, you wanna be honest, be kind, and helpful and all of that? You're not gonna succeed that in one day, that's for sure. It took me years to get that far. I tell you now, I'd rather be honest now because that's what I am. Honest person. Right? You got a lot of bloody dishonest people up there and you don't even know who you got up there. Right? One day, the North Norfolk Railway won't be able to stand on its 2 feet because they lost it as a business because they had to treat it as a heritage railway for the rest of their lives. Because it's too much. Right? To understand, alright? A lot of you know rigging is not acceptable. Rigging Facebook, Google, or TripAdvisor, that's against the law. Why? Because rigging the system is like telling the same people, oh, we got top award for TripAdvisor, or we got high reviews for Facebook. Do you know what? I will tell you, the North Norfolk Railway is full of bullshit. And when I say full of bullshit, I mean it. And why do we have bulls on the road? Think about it. It all adds up, don't it? When people say why they got a full load of bullshit, it's because they tend to lie. When they lie in front of the community and say, look, we if they were honest with you guys, they will be honest, right? All the people know that just follow year by year, don't look back to the previous years because that won't add up. So when you look at the 1 year by 1 year by 1 year by 1 year by 1 year, right, you're gonna start realizing, oh shit, they didn't do as well this year. We won't give them an award because they didn't improve on everything. It's rigging the system, right? Looking realistic at everything, right? The reviews, the TripAdvisor, Facebook, and Google. You're ending up with all the reviews properly, right? But when people look at this year's review, this is what triggers the North Norfolk Railway to rig the system up, right? You, the people that go in just for one day for a cup of tea and coffee, I said, try and do it every day, TripAdvisor. Do it every day, Google. Do it every day, Facebook, and see what you get. Right, then you add all those that year for that year. You do not do rigging and past tense because it doesn't work. It never has done, it never will do. When you do it by book, by book, by book, do it by book standards, yeah? Yeah, you might say, oh, we got these reviews, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, you bloody haven't. You're lying. Right, when you people lie to you, then it becomes dishonesty. Right, that dishonesty has affected the community, the world, everybody around you, and you ended up with nothing at the end of the tunnel. Why? And like I stated, when you do it by year, that's where you need to work out. We can't look back at the year before or the previous. You have to start on the year that you do. Like January to January or January to December. Right? You do it for 1 year. Then you total up the amount. And then your head won't be full of all of that bullshit in your head. Your head is like a bomb, right? Your time bomb. Ding, 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 and it goes bang, 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 bang. Why? It adds up in your head. You're calculating all the past tense in your head. Right? In your head. You're calculating all the past tense on top of the newer reviews that are coming in. Right? You don't want to carry all of that baggage. Right? When you think of all of that past tense baggage, what are you going to end up with? Not a proper result. So, realistically, get off your high horses and start listening, you old horses. I said iron horses are easy to work with. Why? They are better and more efficient to accommodate your reviews in Facebook, TripAdvisor, and Google all at once. Why? People are going to start criticising. But do you want the accuracy or do you want the dishonesty? Pick your choice. You know, when you say accuracy and diplomacy and everything else, you got all of these people around the table, and there are a lot of them that are dishonest with you or been trustworthy with you, kind with you, and everything else. They throw all the bullshit at you. You got to clear your head and realise you're not accurate. And you're going to say that to them in their faces because it's not always fair to other attractions or other places. They deserve a better credit over there, right? The credit every time that TripAdvisor, Google, and Facebook, they always feel like, what can we do? I'm going to tell you straight off the horse's mouth, right? I'm not going to lie and pick up all the horse shit for you. You're going to do it because you've got to get real. When you look in the mirror, do you actually understand where I'm coming from? Logically, you've got a lot of understanding to think about, right? That's a lot of truth, a lot of logic, and a lot of respect. You're not going to gain from Facebook, TripAdvisor, and Google because they all rigged. They all lied to you. Yeah, but because they have past tense business, right? How many of you have been fair to the world? Why everybody goes TripAdvising, right? I get it. Even Facebook gets the reviews and then you end up with Google, right? A lot of people use most recent. Why? They do it by year, but they don't go backwards. Why? Because they're going forward. So your horses can't go backwards, right? If you had a horse in a cart, they can't go fucking backwards, excuse my fucking French, right? Because that's hazardous. Work it out. It only takes one to know one, doesn't it? When you look at Facebook of North Norfolk Railway PLC, I tell you now, look at their recent reviews. You may have 4 of them, right? And then on TripAdvisor, you've got 24, right? And then on Google, it could be even less. Why? People use their brains. The calculation will be a lot more less, but it'll be more accurate. But this is why I said to you, messing with me will be like your hope that you need. Right? I'm giving you all that hope. I'm giving you all that support. Richard Topham Hatt is the next one in line. Then there's Emily Helen Hatt. That's next in line after that. So there's myself, my son, and my granddaughter. 3 more. You got me, but 2 more. Excuse my French. And then you're ending up saying, oh, the North Norfolk Railway screwed you up. By head. Now imagine all that bullshit in your head. Right? You're going to start waking up and smelling that coffee. Right? If you want to listen to all that bullshit, but that's why people can't handle it. This is why they go, the other way. Why they don't think straight in the morning. Why they don't think straight in the afternoon. Why? Because we cut the bullshit out and get to the points. Why? Because we're always on time. Right? We tell you, Facebook reviews only had 4 for the North Norfolk Railway. TripAdvisor had 24. Right? Google, I'm going to investigate. Why? Start using this, less of this. Why? Because I'm telling you honestly, you will find out that the honesty is the best policy. And I'm not going to bullshit with everybody because everybody will understand where I'm coming from, logically. And even that, the more bullshit you have in your head, the harder it will become. Why? Because you're listening to past tense reviews on everything else. So as it builds up, builds up, builds up, builds up, builds up, what you're going to end up with? A lot of shit on the internet. The internet will be full of shit. Why? Let me give you another example, right? A lot of people, right? But I will be straightforward and honest, right? And I'm not going to bullshit with the bush, right? There are a lot of reviews out there that are true to the point at the moment with 2024. And then people ask, why has the North Norfolk Railway got the award this year? Because they rigged the system. When you rig a system like that, do you know what I would have done? I would just cut the bullshit for the past and then carry on from where I stood. From January to December in 1 year. Why? To get the accuracy. To get the total amount correct. You don't backlog everything else and say, oh, they are best attraction of the year. I'm going to say, fuck off. Because it's the truth. If you want the honesty, you have to take what comes with it. Why? I'm being honest with you. Look at the North Norfolk Railway being so stupid as they are from 2019. Why? How many bullshitters did they have on the internet? At the time, they may be saying good stuff, bad stuff, and all that, but it's all adding up. But nobody does it by year, do they? But when it goes by 1 year on its own, it comes accurate. It's more accurate. Why? Because you're not putting the dishonest saying you right. Let me say this correctly, right? To help you understand where I'm coming from. So you get the point, right? When Google reviews, Facebook reviews, or TripAdvisor reviews, everybody uses 1 year. Why? Now, if I said to you the North Norfolk Railway rigs its system, right? What do they do to get that top mark? Because I'm telling you now, they're lying. Right? When I catch people out, I do manage to face them off. 4 for Facebook this year, and then TripAdvisor 24. Right? Then Google reviews will be checked. Why? You're going to end up realizing that the truth is hitting in your face. I'll be honest, I don't like to be dishonest. Right? They want to treat it as a business. They're going to get poor reviews, right? That's true. They will get less reviews if they treat the North Norfolk Railway as a business when it's a heritage railway, right? A heritage railway is what it stands for a reason, right? If you change it to a business, you're going to get less reviews. Ding, 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 ding. It knows everything before you calculated it. So when I talk about Graham, the new general manager, he won't be there for much longer. Alright? He's gonna leave the building. Right? Because he's too screwed up. Too mentally out of order. Why? Because he's out of proportion. Right? When he looks at everything that I'm telling is true, he will say, oh fuck, he's telling the truth. And I'll be saying, yes, I was. I don't want to be demeanor or disrespectful, but the thing is, if you want to work with me, you have to coordinate with me. You don't ask me to look on the internet for your crap. Excuse my French, but I always catch you out. Right? When people do these things out of demeanor, disrespectful, or whatever, bang, people will find you a dishonest piece of shit. Excuse my language. It's like iron horses. You can't ask them to move backwards when they got a cart behind their backsides. Because it's been hurting their necks instead of going forward. Why? Because you can't move a horse backwards with a cart, because a cart would turn, it would turn. It won't go down as a straight line as a car would, excuse my French. No offense, but that's a fact. You want the facts, you're going to have to look into it. I said, they're rigging, they're changing, and they're doing it. Why? If you want the best reviews in anything these days, you have to look at it logically. Right? You do not go back to 2023 or 2022 or 2021. Right? That's too obsolete. People will look at the modern stuff. 2024, yes, yeah, right? From January to the bloody TripAdvisor showed up. Right? TripAdvisor screwed up. Right? They only had 24 reviews. Right? For Facebook, it's done by the users, right? So you have to get coordinated, right? When you add up 4 and 24 equals 28 in total, right? Then you add up the other departments, right? People will judge you by the book it's by its cover because they look into things. Customer service, checking volunteers, employees, employers. Why? Because I'm an honest one, they're the dishonest ones. Work it out. The North Norfolk Railway screwed up, right? All the other places had more opportunities to get their rewards this year. Why? If the North Norfolk Railway want, wants their reward this year, they can't have it this year. They lost. Look at it. You know, you only have to use your common sense in your head to realise I'm not the one who's stupid here. You know, I'm being logical, being fair, and be straight honest with you. Right? You're gonna have to go year by year. You can't just go backlogging everything because I put. Let me say this in a better way for you. Right? When you have a horse in a cart, right? If you use past tense logs or past reviews, as they say, you're ending up building it up with the new stuff, and then the horse can't pull it. Why? Too fucking heavy. Right? It's the honest, it's the truth, and it's logic. Right? That's the same with Google. It's the same with TripAdvisor. Horses won't pull heavy stuff. Why? Because they can't pull. They will have to use more horses. Why? Get real. In your head, it's like saying being honest, being truthful, being kind, being respectful to a point. You gotta realistically put it in your head and realise why. I am so disappointed with the North Norfolk Railway for lying to you, being demeanour, disrespectful, and dishonest with you. Graham won't do it because he'd be banning ship sooner or later. Right? He will realise how much of a screw up this is. Right? When he realises that I'm here, he was going to say, no, the fat man's in charge. Why? Because I'm the only one who can see through all of this shit. I said, if he had the time to do it, I will guide him. But fuck's sake, grow up. You know, the reviews, doesn't matter if it's Facebook reviews, Google reviews, or TripAdvisor reviews, you're going to end up with false information to a very high degree. Why? It can happen with any place, any attraction. Why? Do you really expect me to go high horse? No, I'm being honest with you. I'd rather give that honesty the best policy, right? The, right. If I say this incorrectly, even the cops will understand this. Right? When the cops investigate this, they will look fairly and look deeper themselves and they will realise I'm telling the truth, right? The reviews may boot up a bit throughout the rest of the year, right to the end of December of 2024. That's your total amount. Why? Then it resets for the January 2025. Why? Then it becomes accurately. Right then, the North Norfolk Railway can't use what they already used up. It's like a token every year. Ding, 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 ding. For every month. Why? For every customer. Right? 2024, January 2024, February, March, April, May, June. For separate months throughout the year. And it goes right into December. Then you'll get your total amount. Why? That's your total amount for 1 year. But using past tense log, you're telling the horses they can't pull heavy weight. Why? Because you require more horses, which is illegal this year. Why? Because when you look at it, it's realistic. Right, when you check, it's like doing the counting in the books. You do it year by year, as you would normally would. Right, each book has if I was doing this properly for the North Norfolk Railway as a proper business material, or even when it is a proper review in general for the year, I will look at the reviews for that year only. I don't backtrack. Right, you gotta get realistic. Get your heads out of that cloud, because in the day you know I'm telling the truth, and you know I'm being honest, and you know I'm not dishonest. I may swear a little bit just to kick off because I know I'm telling the truth. I'd rather be honest. You know, an honest person will go straight to the market. I said, you got this bloody problem and you don't know what's hitting you. Right? My calculations on this, you need to do it year by year. Don't go backlogging, because that's when you try and cheat with the system. Right? If Google and Facebook and TripAdvisor did this and actually stopped you from using past tense logs, right, then everybody will get accurate results. Right? Then the heads will be full of bullshit. Right? When I say North Norfolk Railway hasn't been a good attraction this year, I'm telling the truth. And you know it, I know it, everybody else, Tom, Dick and Harry else knows it, even my family, friends and connections, and even my past tense connections, they all know about it. So get real. You know, when the time is right, you know it's all happening all in truth. Facebook reviews got 4 this year, right now. Right, that's during the year so far. TripAdvisor's got 24. Right? Don't bullshit TripAdvisor, because you're lying. When you give them a review of the award, you don't backlog everything else. I said, if you want to be honest with people, be honest, because if you don't be honest, you're out of a job. Right? I know what's happening on this island. I know what's happening in Norfolk in general, right? Don't bullshit on me, because I will certainly catch you out. Doesn't matter if it's on the internet or not. I am gonna rig you out. When I mean rig you out, means you're gonna do it by year, and you're gonna start being honest. Right? You're gonna start prioritizing. You're gonna start thinking on your heads. Right? There are right from wrong. Right? You're gonna start thinking about this and look at it logically. Right? It doesn't matter if it applies to a child or a young adult or adult, regardless. Doesn't matter. It applies to everybody. It just doesn't. Realistically, when you say, "Oh, we had a good time here," right, on that year, a specific year, then it gets added. Right? The next following year, then it becomes invalid. Why? Because it can't be used. It's like saying, if you want to play the hard game, I said North Norfolk Railway can't be treated as a business. Can only be treated as a heritage railway. It can't be anything else. Why? There's a lot of people in this world that knows the truth behind it all, right? Including myself, obviously. But you need to understand the logic in it. Right? You're gonna have to start realizing rigging the Google reviews, TripAdvisor reviews, or Facebook, they're not gonna add up properly. Right? TripAdvisor is very, very stupid. Facebook is a lot more honest to a point, because they always tell you the honest truth by year. You just don't do it by just month by month, obviously. You got 12 months, right, which is 2012, right, which is neutral, right? When you reverse it, it's 21. So work it out. What do I do when it comes to 12 months of a year, and I always reset them? Why? It's being honest, not dishonest. Why? Because you're accurately getting the right information for everybody. It's not just about Facebook reviews. It's about TripAdvisor and Google. It's not just because they're holding back. Look, this is why your computers fill up with garbage. Think about it. Your hard drives, you've got a lot of cookies on your computer. All of that is related to your reviews. Now, take out some of the trash and then boot it out. Why? Clear it out. Right? You're gonna start thinking on your computers right now and realize, shit, he's talking sense, he's talking logic, respect, a little bit of a way, which I understand. He's blah blah. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna give you all my, you know, situation, but the thing is, you're turning Facebook, TripAdvisor, and Google reviews into something lethal, right? Because you're not doing it by year. Every month, right? You've got 12 months, right? Which is equalised 12. Reverse it, it's 21. Why? Because I'm catching you out, right? There's a lot of people that have not always been completely honest with everybody, right? Which is true. And you need to start prioritising, right? You've got a lot to learn. From being honest, being disrespectful, being honest with people. I said, Graham won't help you. He's just a general manager that won't last long. Why? Because I've been told by Duck. Obviously. But I want you to understand that he won't be there for much longer because he won't hack what I've got on my table. Why? My head is so clear, but I'm also respectful because I'm trying to be honest with you. Right? You're gonna think again of everything that's unfolding and it's actually telling you the truth. I said Facebook has only got 4 for the North Norfolk Railway. Right? TripAdvisor's got 24. How much do you think Google's got for this year? On its own. I need you to think that rather than me giving out the answers all the time. Alright? I want you to start thinking, alright, on your feet and your toes and your head. Don't BS, because if you put the BS in, then you've been caught. Why? Because you got to be honest on the month. And every month, you're going to find out at the end of the year, you will find out the real true meaning of the answer of the year, of the actual amount the North Norfolk Railway has, or any attraction around the world. Doesn't matter if it's in the UK or not. They've all been tested. Why? Right, one day doesn't help. Right? You have a serious problem. Right? You realise the North Norfolk Railway is lying to you because I'm being honest with you. Right? So work it out. You're ending up with a lot of dishonesty up there with them. And that's the reason why they're getting caught out. Rigging the system, doing everything they want, and everything they want to expect of you. They want you to think, oh, they've done this, they've got this good reputation, blah, blah, blah. I said, probably in the past they did. But when you look at the recent stuff and look at 2024 on its own, you realise they only had not many reviews this year. Why? People are getting clever, but you can't rig a system. If you rig the system, then you're out. Then you become a bullshitter. And when bullshitters come along, I get rid of them. Why? Because you can't do with all that bullshit in behind schedule. Like I said, in the other day, you don't want past tense business in there because it won't be accurate. So when I say to you, right, in logical terms, you're going to end up regretting out that you become, that you will witness as it unfolds, naturally, of course, you're going to end up saying, why? Why is the North Norfolk Railway doing this? Why is the North Norfolk Railway doing that? Did you know why they're doing it? I said they're not always honest with you. That's why they are BSing in front of everybody else. So work it out. When the whole thing collapses on them, what becomes of all the truth and all the logic? You know, at the end of the day, you're going to end up falling behind, realizing how much screw up you made. Right? Facebook reviews has only got 4 reviews for the North Norfolk Railway. That's how bad it is. Right? 24 on TripAdvisor. Right? And when it comes down to Google reviews, just remember, they didn't have any more. Why? They're trying to rig the system. So when you rig a system, what does every Facebook, TripAdvisor, and the other department, Google, what should they done? They should lock down the past tense years and left with the present day years, which is like 2024. And then when it goes next year from January, then 2024 will be on a lockdown, so they can't use it. Why? Because they rig the system. Why? It may be not always what you see is not always what you get. Right? I'm telling you honestly. I tell you now, you're about to get hurt by the North Norfolk Railway because of all these reviews. Right? Facebook has just had 4. Right? Add 20 for TripAdvisor, so it's 24 for them. Right? Then you're ending up with Google, and it won't all add up. Why? Because I'm telling you to come here and I'll give you the honesty. Right? The North Norfolk Railway will not. Why? I'm too kind, too helpful, and too supportive. I may have my moments, but at the end of the day, I'm always honest. Right? My friends have been honest, my connections have been honest. I said they rigged the system. Why? If you rig the system, does that class as cheating? And a lot of school children will always be clever enough to say, yes, that is. Why? This is why the adults messed it up to a point. Why? Because they want to stay at the top. I said the North Norfolk Railway should never deserve that award this year. You know what I mean? It's like Facebook only had 4. TripAdvisor's got 24. Right? Doesn't that it adds up, yes, but it doesn't give out too many results, does it? So how do they fuck up? Excuse my language. And I'm gonna give that answer to you. It's because the people behind the computers at the time, like TripAdvisor or Facebook or Google, you're ending up with false information. So that's why they rig it to use past tense stuff. And when you use past tense stuff, you don't get to the top properly. So when you got it as a business, right, the North Norfolk Railway as a business, it doesn't work the same way as heritage. Just keep it in mind, because a lot of people will respect heritage over their business department. So work it out. So when people say they want this and they need it because it's a respectful way of saying it, yes, I respect the community because they know what they need are. To a point. Not the employees, not employers. Why? Because they disrespected it. So the North Norfolk Railway is at the bottom of the food chain. Why? Think about it logically, because I know you've got it in your head and you don't like to be honest, but you've got to be honest within yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself like I am, don't bloody be on internet. Don't be on Google. Don't be on TripAdvisor. Don't be on Facebook. Just right. This is for businesses or the North Norfolk Railway in general. They should not be on the internet. Why? Because they've been dishonest with you. So when they get TripAdvisor or Google or Facebook, they're ending up rigging the system. They rig the system to say, oh, we do this for one day, but one day isn't enough for everybody else because one day can ruin a whole reputation of the North Norfolk Railway because it lost its reputation the day they start rigging the system. Have you noticed that every year that people appreciated it once every year? They only had to do the review once, right? To respect it, right? But I have to be honest with you, right? Because I have to give you the real results to get you the better chances of knowing why are they top dog or top review for this year. When you look at it, you think, oh, they rigged the system. That's the first thing you look at. Why? TripAdvisor does this mistake a lot, and they do it on purpose just to keep the top review up. Why? You're listening to me because I'm being honest. I don't be dishonest with everybody else. God's sake, Send. It took a lot of guts to try and tell you a lot of stuff to a point, right? There are people in this world that will cheat on you. And that's the reason why you have to be honest with them. So by asking yourself, what is the best way to know what's the best attraction of the year? Just the year by this year. Why? You have to be honest with yourself. But don't take the bullshit. When I say when the horses can't pull the bullshit, why? It's because it's too overloaded. Why? Because I'm trying to tell you about iron horses for a reason. As example, horses can only carry so much weight before it even says why. You're asking yourself, you carried all this weight? Why? And I said to the North Norfolk Railway, don't play the card trick around it, because it does not work with me. Why? Because they lied. They've just been deceitful. They've been unkind to you. They've been disrespectful. They've been dishonest. They didn't help you with your tickets. They didn't help you with anything. Why? Because if you look at the reviews today, the North Norfolk Railway only got 4 on Facebook, 24 on TripAdvisor, and then you end up with Google. And then you'll find that the Google results are not accurate this year. Why? Because you break it down to 1 year, which is your year this year, which is 2024. And I'll tell you now, if you break it down for every attraction, accurate results. People did not just rate you just for your what you stand for, they represent you for what you do on that day, every day of the month. Now work it out in your head. There's only 12 months, right? And you get certain reviews, right? People are not going to respect you just because they tell you they're the highest rating attraction. No. TripAdvisor slipped up. Facebook never did. Why? Because I've been counting. I've been checking up here. So if you really want the truth and you really want the honesty, I said the North Norfolk Railway has been rigging your system. So if you want to rig a system that has been in the system for a long time, block the past tense, which is like 2023 and 2022 and all the others. Delete them because start fresh every year. Because if you don't, if you leave it there, then you're just giving people a bad name, a bad reputation, and that would not be respectful ever again. And you're ending up with a result that doesn't come clear. Why? People want honesty. They don't want dishonesty. Why? You know the truth, you know the answer, and you know the respect. It all comes down to money in the end. But in the end of the day, you've got to be realistic. Right? You're going to end up with that bloody problem in the air saying, you got this problem. You got this problem because you bullshitted. You lied. Disrespectful. That's what the North Norfolk Railway's been doing. Rigging the system, rigging everything. Why? Changing the websites, turning off the web cameras, doing all of that. Do you know what? In the day, the North Norfolk Railway's got no leg to stand on. Why? Because bullshit lies to you. Right? This is not bullshit I'm not giving out. I'm giving you the honesty, the truth, and the logic, and the respect for it. But if you can't see the answers, look by the year. Because the year determines the actual amount of points they had this year. Right? If you do it by past tense, you lose. Why? Because you end up cheating. And that's the answer. And if you really want the bad answer, then you're really sticking to what they say on the internet right now. And that's bullshit. And thank you very much. In any angle, in any deed, I don't like my railway to be disrespectful in any angle. Thank you very much.